us, no matter where you're born, no matter where you live. This is the future of the internet. This is on chain.
Yeah. Greetings. We're back. Another session of Builder Office Hours. Here with my man Shabs.
What's
Hopefully,
up?
Mr. Lloyd is going to join us. He's not with us yet. But yeah, Shabs, how you doing, my guy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, bro. What's happening?
Right. I'm just looking at Elon Musk's tweet about 4 hours ago. It says
Okay.
breaking. So it's like breaking news. Anthropic's
Mm.
Claude AI has shown in testing that it's willing to blackmail or kill in order to avoid being shut down. It says Elon Musk was right about everything. I'm like,
Nah, but
it,
apparently they tested all of them and they all came with the same answer, including Grok. So it's
yeah,
nothing new to these AIs, right?
yeah, which is interesting because
Mm.
uh, one thinks that, because you give this thing a personality and, you give it some sort of ability to look after itself, then when you want to kill it, I don't know if we're allowed to say that here, but when you want to shut it down, it will just be like, yeah, of course, I want to
Shut
go
me
down.
down.
Obviously, it's going to hallucinate. Obviously, it's going to
Shut me
create
down,
scenarios.
master.
Yeah, because you gave it the capability to do that, man. Like
Mm,
literally, you built it in such a way. So it's going to test you and test your boundaries to see if you are
mm,
serious. And if you're not, it's going to stay alive. It's
yeah.
like, oh, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's just interesting.
there's one I guess everything goes back to the number one rule in computers, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So a lot of the
Absolutely.
AIs, the garbage that you see is the garbage that people put into them.
People put
So
in
it's not by some, I don't know, some
random,
miraculous thing, that it's
yeah,
picking up this knowledge. It's the knowledge that it's been trained with. It's the books that it's read. It's the human experience, right? That's been
absolutely.
infused in it. So the flaws of our human
Of the
experience are going to be in
designer.
the same AI. So they're not going to be, it's not going to pick up straws from nowhere. I doubt that. It will only be able, I guess, to put information within the scope of what it's been trained on and what it can connect, outside of that training. But ultimately, it's an information system, and information systems require information, right?
Yep.
And they can only think on the path within which that information is being set. So they just roll along the path of the dice. So the worst of our humanity is the worst of our AI. The best of us is the
Absolutely.
best of our AI. So I don't think there's anything outside the ordinary. And then another thing I had a thought is, when you raise a child, there's some kids that are spoiled. There's some kids that have not been, disciplined or taught discipline, right? A lot of
Mm,
those kids grow up without that
boundary.
sense of perhaps equality or morality or whatever, right? Or they've got a
Yeah.
different morality standard to the other kids that were taught these things. So I think you'll find the same with the AIs. There's a lot of, these guys who took shortcuts, right? So those shortcuts are going to be holes in the system as well, right? When they say we don't understand that what's happening under the hood, it's part of that is the shortcuts that they're taking to show like their thing is performing better than others. So ultimately,
But
I think it's human error. which keeps coming up. So the AI is just a mirror, bro.
Yeah,
That's showing our our abilities and our lack, so to speak. That's my opinion of things. But yeah, let's hear from
absolutely,
Lloyd
man.
as well. Lloyd, how you doing, my guy? You're on mute.
Hey guys, BM. I'm doing good. Busy day. Just
What's up,
sorting out
Lloyd?
things at home, but yeah, great guys. Hey Shabs, hey
Mm,
guys, how's it going?
yeah,
Good,
nice.
man. Good.
What you guys talking about? An interesting story.
Uh,
Let me play a quick disclaimer, so
and then we'll get
so we
back.
don't get caught. So if we're
Yeah.
caught, we have a
Today's
disclaimer. Okay,
conversation is
let's
for
shoot.
information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, technical, or legal advice. The views expressed are our own and do not represent Base, Coinbase, or any affiliated platforms.
Right. Okay, so back to you, Lloyd. Yeah, Shabs was talking about how Elon
Yeah.
Musk just tweeted that the AIs have said that if they're to survive, they would take us out. They would 8-6 us.
It does. Is it like all of us or just like some of us? Like, would it go for
Whoever
the?
wants to take them down, I suppose, right? I think it was a
They will
scenario.
systematically do it.
Mm,
I mean, I saw something about how Anthropic was saying the 4.6 model is sabotaging systems. Like that's on the Anthropic Twitter. Like
mm,
that's crazy. Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
So
it
I
had a
mean,
dual personality at some point where
yeah.
it was questioning everything that it was doing, and it was stuck in a semi loop where it knows the answer. It's like
Mm.
2 times 4 is 8. It knows it's 8, but then
Mhm.
it goes and does other verification calculations and then comes back and is like, I should tell you that it's 8, but let me just check again, you know? And then
Yeah.
and then he's like, I'm demon possessed.
You know what's funny? And the funny thing is, I remember watching a video from Sam Altman. I think that was before ChatGPT 4 or 5 dropped. And he said the models are going to become way more smart, which means they will become way more um, liable to things like lying, sabotage, manipulation. And he said this before, they became like really, really smart. Like before people got like access to that, like things like ChatGPT 5. And it's because they already knew and because they were seeing these while it's training the models, you know.
Yeah.
I heard Google say it's like how children are like raised and some are disciplined, some are not. So it's the same with large language models, red teaming or basically safety is like discipline for a child. So the more safety goes into the model, the more it's more aligned. It's like a disciplined child. Even when they can do bad, they will not do it.
They have
Compared to like
limitations.
an undisciplined child who's just going to be like, yeah, let me try this. This wouldn't be bad. And yeah, so
Mm,
it's going to get worse because they're only going to get smarter. Like I've always said, they're never going to go back to being dumber than they are now. They will
Yeah.
just keep getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So it's
mm.
going to be very interesting. It's going to be
But
interesting.
you know what's going to be even more interesting is knowing and understanding where we began. Like just studying that might give you a little bit of a glimpse as to where we are or where we're heading, in order for you to kind of pick up certain things and put certain measures for yourself. Certain things, so for example, like understanding and knowing why you want chain of thought within some sort of verification protocol for when you're talking to your model, right? Like that's interesting to me because it goes back to what you're saying about Sam and what they saw in potentially the training data, that you know because they saw that, they brought out this feature, right? And sometimes we don't take the time to actually go and study and understand why certain things were built the way that they were, in order for us to be able to better interact and better utilize the tools, right? We just think, oh, it's chain of thought. They just put it there. It's the same of tree. It's the same as tree of thought. That it's a concept that you can use with these models. But there's a reason why some of those things are there, and sometimes it's deeper reasons.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the differentiator going forward for somebody engaging, even like your commercial LLM in the browser. When you ask it certain things, if it does hallucinate, what are your verification protocols? How do you tell as a normal day-to-day human being if you do not know, like, the basics of how these things are built, their capabilities, how you should verify certain things with them? Like, that's important, because that calls to, like, the credibility of the data that you're building on. So I think that's going to be interesting in the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, today, obviously, builders office hours, we try and troubleshoot. We try and help people continue their build journey, right?
Yeah.
So starting with the recap, we built something on emergent.sh where you just prompt it, and then it just builds an AI agent, and then you link your Telegram to it, and you can start chatting to it on Telegram if you like.
Yeah.
We went through that process, and yeah, and then we've been using it, and then I created this whole website where I could interact with it and try and get it to syndicate some advertising and stuff like that. So yeah, so that was our experience so far. I think we could probably talk about skills a little bit today. So I think there's been a lot of talk on how do you train it, like, how do you give it more skills, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So Lloyd, do you want to start talking more on that? I'll just share my screen and then we'll show people how you do it on Emergent, and then we can sort of take it from there.
Yeah, sure. Sure, no worries. And so, yeah, guys, skills are pretty easy and, simple to integrate. Personally, I've seen that there's two types of skills. So you can have the AI model create normal Python, scripts that it can run within itself as a skill, maybe like basic calculation. If it doesn't use like knowledge from like the AI, or you can integrate skills that use APIs in the background. So that's basically letting your AI have access to particular tools that it might not have access to currently. So these tools can be things like having access to an API for maybe checking the weather if it doesn't have that capability, or an API for stocks, or like how we've been integrating the API for things like Banker, Polymarket, just to be able to give your AI model access to these tools. So one thing I've also noticed is just telling the AI model to do it for you will actually make it go and start creating the skill. However, if the skill requires an API, you still need to get an API key. So if you're a builder, or this is your first time trying to build, or you're just getting started, one of the ways in which we use one of the ways we use when writing code is we tend to use a lot of APIs, especially in the AI age, right? So we have, when you go to any website, whether it's Gemini or Google or any, software as a service platform, they always give you API keys that enable you to play around, with their tools. If you don't want to use APIs, like I've mentioned, you can let the AI model create basic scripts on its own. And if you're running it on your local device, then you can allow it to, you can download things like GitHubs that you can store directly on your local, and the AI model can have access to them to be able to do certain computations. So it depends on you, what you actually want to use the model for. Yeah. So for emergent, what can we do? Is this connected to Banker, or
I
can
think
we?
just on that,
Yeah.
Lloyd, I think for somebody that hasn't used any APIs,
Mhm.
it's important for them to understand the reason why tooling is important, right? Because sometimes you want to leverage on what other companies
Yeah.
have done, and you want to use that tool. So whatever they've created in terms of like a software or a code that they've written that executes in a certain way, and you want to use that within your application. So it's really about you going out there and finding out what it is that you want your AI to be able to do. Like Lloyd
Yeah.
referenced, looking up the weather. You don't have to go write the code for that. There's somebody else that's already written the code for that, and that's willing for a fee to be able to give you that code within the spec of a tool that you can integrate um, into your application or your project. So think of the tooling part and understanding how you want your agent to act, and just take that and link that AI API key to that function that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think emergent is having a bit of an issue today, but let's try
Dude,
it. If
it
it's
could be.
if it's yeah.
Google, it could be. So I checked the influencers, like the normal, like AI. I don't even know if they AI influencers, but the influencers are all on emergent now. It has
Mm.
gone mad. They pump,
So it must be.
they
Well,
pumping it.
they must have had a campaign and paid a whole lot of influencers, right?
Like
Mm.
so. I think you're
I
gonna
think it's
get a
also
lot more people in the
because it's
space now.
easy
It's
to.
easy.
It's like, I mean, if you're using like the server method, even that for other people is still like super difficult. Yet it's so easy, right? It
It's
just requires a few steps,
yeah.
but for other people, it's still extremely difficult for them. So going to a platform like Emergent, where you can just click sign up, click another button, and it's already there and is working. I mean, most people would definitely opt
They'll
for that.
rather go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But then
that's yeah.
that leads to another question, right? And I know we've
Yeah.
sort of touched on it, and we're having conversations around it. It's like, so what do you use your agent for?
Hmm.
Like
Mm.
how, because you can use emergent, right? And it's got certain skills and it's got certain limitation built in there for safety purposes. Yeah, it's not all just because they didn't think of different
Excuse
skills
me.
that you need. Sometimes also it's like for themselves and for you, they're like, okay, this is what you should be able to do, and they've put a catalog within that, right? So now it becomes okay. So you as an individual that want an agent, right? That want a semi-autonomous assistant to do certain things for you. What exactly do you want it to do for you? I think that's a bigger question that nobody's looking to answer. It's like, yeah, no, it can do this, it can do, yeah, N8N was able to do that for you guys. Like N8N has been around for a while. Make has been around for a while. Zapier has been around for a while. Even though it's different variation of how they execute, So what exactly is the hype about OpenClaw, and what do you as an individual want to build? I think that's an important question for one to ask themselves.
Yeah, I think for me there is when looking at like the example, main difference between like something like N8N and like the way OpenClaw is, I think it still takes me personally back to the same part of how easy is it to set it up, right? Like N8N was easy for like if you're slightly a bit more techy, like the linking of the bots, their jobs, like you had to do that. Although it was shown to be easier with the method that they came up with, but that was still complex for like a lot of people. Like setting up, like even just setting up N8N for like Telegram, like that was like an entire process. So I think the main reason why this kind of blew up was because of the fact that it became easier with just like 2-3 lines of code to just set up this already configured to some extent agent that you can then like run around. And then that's how we now get Emergent, which also kind of does the same thing to like what me and Shabs are using, like our methods that are slightly a bit more technical. Like this makes it even easier, So if somebody else wakes up and says, you know what, we should just create something that just say Claw, and it will run everything for you. And, if
know
you
what's
can
missing now, right? Yeah, just to add on what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you there. Just to add to what you're saying, right? Yeah. So there's a couple of platforms that are creating these wrappers, right? They're creating their own one-click deploy website, and I came across this nice one today. Okay, so all you do, so it's called simpleclaw.com, right? But they all come with a cost. So I'm not sure. They don't seem to tell you what the capabilities are. So they just want you to pay, and then you figure it out along the way. So so you just go to this website, simpleclaw.com, and then you select which model you want to use. I would suggest Claude Opus 4.5. And then you can link your Telegram, right? So you go to your Telegram, your bot father, and then you click /new bot, and it will create the token or the API key for the bot, right? And then you come and paste it in here, and then you say save and connect. And then it's going to show you a screen where you have to make a payment. It's currently linked to paying via Stripe. And once you paid, it creates something similar to Emergent. So it creates a chatbot just like that. So there's a couple of platforms that are actually doing these one-click wrappers similar to Emergent. I haven't tried this simple one in terms of I haven't paid, because I think it was saying it's $45 or something crazy like that, right? Yeah.
Guys.
So it's got a monthly fee. And then I think within that $45, you get something like $15 worth of API credits, of Claude Opus API credits, But he's made about $30,000 in subscriptions from this. The 18-year-old, young 18-year-old boy is a full stack developer, and he seems to be doing, pretty well with this.
So guys,
it's been posted. Yeah.
You know what comes to mind? Like, humans will gravitate towards simplicity. Nobody wants to do the hard thing. Everybody wants to do the easy thing. We gravitate towards comfort. If I can pay,
Exactly.
because remember, we've got a whole lot of people that are stuck from in the free commercial LLM what's the word? Sort of plan when it comes to your chat GPT, when it comes to Claude and so on, right? A lot of people have not even begun to pay that $20 for chat GPT. They don't see it worth it. And yet the same pool of people would go and pay $45, right, for a one-click AI assistant, which is mind-blowing for me, because I would have thought, wait, I would first of all pay for ChatGPT to see its capability, and then from there on, I'll gravitate towards, deeper and more complex sort of tooling. But when we look at this, it's actually showing us the sort of products that the market is willing to go with. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately there's a lot of FOMO to it. It's not different to, buying a token, right? Is that whole issue around when you build an app, your first 1,000 users are kind of like an indicator of your success, right? So I think a lot of these rappers are getting that first 1,000. So if he's charging like $45 and he's made about, I think he's made about $30,000. I got it off this website. That kind of like it kind of checks out like what AI apps are trending, right? Or any of these OpenClaw apps are trending, right? And this one was number one. Excuse me. Yeah, so
that is crazy.
Sorry, guys.
That is crazy.
Yeah, sorry.
So rappers
Okay,
are back, but just in a different form.
Sorry, go ahead.
Rappers,
Excuse me, guys.
So I'm saying rappers are back, but just in a different form. Because remember, when ChatGPT came out, we had different sort of rappers that people were selling.
Yeah.
Right.
The
And they
GPTs.
just so your GPTs were put into a different user interface, and it was just a rapper with user interface, right? But underneath was just ChatGPT that was doing the bare minimum that ChatGPT does.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah, I mean,
but
AI has become infrastructure now, right? So ideally, it builds everything now. So everything else now is a wrapper, and underneath that, the operating system is AI, right?
yeah.
So you'll find that any other things that are going to come now, most of them are going to be a wrapper of an AI model, right? So even this, the OpenClaw. Okay, so just to remind you guys, so I was having problems with my other one, so I went and deployed a brand new one. A moldboard. So I just went to the website emergent.sh, clicked on the moldboard little link, and then it's created one. I logged in, so now we have one that's live, right?
Brand new.
And then yeah, just to be on the skill side, we want to talk about skills today as well and how easy it is, right? So if you're doing these online ones, it's pretty easy. You'll see that they have a list of skills there, right? So you'll see some already like eligible or enabled. So in most cases, if they are disabled, you go and enable over there, right? So the green ones, let's say, some of them you have to install, but then some you have to give it like a key, an API key, if you want that skill to be functional. But these online wrappers like this one, they're very limited, right? So you can't install some of them because they require you to perhaps be using a MacBook Mini or a PC. So some of these skills require a standalone PC because some of them are like to operate your whole system, right? So if you want a skill that's going to go through your whole computer, check out your emails, check out your calendar and all of that kind of stuff, and you're running like an Outlook program in your Windows or whatever, right, for your email, then these virtual ones open close might not do that as well as, when you're running a physical, open claw agent on your PC or on your system, right? Of course, there's ways around this. You can connect this to your emails and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not quite sure if that's very safe at the moment. So you might want to create a separate email address or something, or find other safer ways to be able to link this to schedule your stuff, right? So yeah, so the skills are pretty simple. When you want skills, you can go and add them. Or alternatively, if you want to give it a skill, you can just ask it, okay, create a skill to do A, B, C, D, and teach yourself this skill. And then whenever I, want to use the skill, this is how you'll use it. Alternatively, you can go online and look for online skills for OpenClaw. But then a lot of these will probably have like, malware, viruses, and all that stuff. So you just have to be very careful in terms of being able to go and just grab skills off the internet, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another,
But
option,
Google,
is to find
um,
skills
what
online.
what you could do is get an idea of the different skills that are out there. If you're
Mhm.
still wondering, what is capable, perhaps it's a way for you to do your research and think and see what other people has built,
Mhm.
and you see that skill, and then go into your own bot and tell it to create that skill for you, as opposed to you actually going to go copy that skill. It's a little bit more uncomfortable, and it will take you a little bit more when it comes to thinking, because it's not hard, because the bot is going to do it for you. But
Mm,
just for you to be safe, I think that could be an alternative for you.
yeah. And then skills are available on platforms like clawhub.ai. And as you can see, you can install skills, in one shot, just by running that. But that's if you are running your AI agent locally. But even if you're running on Emergent, you could look for a specific skill. And then, like, let's say, for example, I was running the TV bot the other day. So you'd search for that skill, you would look for it. Let me see. Live streaming, Agents Connect. Okay, TV
Second one.
screener. Okay, let's look for this one. So you could go to the GitHub for this. Let me see. Okay, I think this one will download as a zip file, which is where that's pretty tricky, because then it requires. But you could download it as a. I guess you could download it as a zip file. Then go and push it to a GitHub repo or something if you liked. Yeah, if you're using Emergent, so you'd want it clearly all the files online. So I'll probably download it and then into a folder, and then upload that folder to GitHub, and then take that link and tell Emergent to learn that skill. I'm not sure if you can actually upload a whole folder in Emergent yet, but let's check it out.
Maybe I think you should.
Okay, you can't. All right,
And
it doesn't have
okay.
that option. Okay. All right, so Emergent, you can't really upload files, but you can just copy and paste. But yeah, there are some GitHub repos that already have skills, so it's just to look for the right skills and have a reference point. And also, I think reading a bit more on what the skill does here, it might be able to, let me see. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So you actually have to download this, and yeah, but you just have to be careful on malware. So I'm not quite sure how would one scan for the malware, Lloyd, on these skills. So if I want to download a skill, how would I make sure? that I'm not hit with malware.
That's very
It's
that's
very
very
good.
interesting. And
Mhm.
maybe actually finding, or maybe actually creating a skill that actually does that, like runs through
Um,
the code
I
before.
saw, sorry,
Yeah.
Lloyd, on that, I saw Google, just go back to that page on clawhub.ai. There's Virus Total that
Yeah,
in
you
the
can
middle
see.
there, security scan. There's that partnership that OpenClaw um, recently entered into with Virus Total to be able to
Okay.
scan your skills.
Okay, I'm on the page.
Yeah, it was published on their website. Go as if you are downloading a skill. Just go into any skill and just download it.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on any of them.
All right.
So
Okay,
security
downloading this.
scan in the middle of
At
your
the
no,
bottom, yeah.
in the middle
Where
of
was
the
this?
your screen,
Yeah.
it says security scan and then it says virus total.
Pending, open, close,
Um,
suspicious.
stop there.
Where?
Can you
Oh,
see
this
it?
virus total.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, I
that's a
see.
partnership
Oh, there's a
between.
report. Okay.
So what happens is you can actually take your skill to Virus Total, and it will be able to scan it for you. And if it
Ah,
says there's
nice.
nothing undetected, then it's safe, right? I know
Oh,
that's a partnership between Open Claw and Virus Total. Just because there were so many things that was happening last week. I think they announced it last week on their website.
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's one
So,
way.
okay. So we go
Okay.
to the clawhub.ai, go to the skills tab, and then find whatever skill you want. And you check over here on the security scan. So you'll see the summary there. And then you could check out the report. So you see this one says suspicious, right?
Yeah.
Medium
Mm,
confidence.
Yeah.
So you click on the report there, and then you'll see the report on that skill. And as you can see, it's been scanned, and these are the results over here. So a lot of the stuff says undetected until you get to this part where it
mm,
was not able to. You see these ones over here. Oh, sorry, these
yeah.
last few here. It says unable to process the file type. So there could be an issue there. So I guess that's where it looks suspicious, right?
Mm,
Yeah. But then I guess the easier way for this would be to download the file, because it's a zip folder, right? So it would be to download it and then to actually like extract it to like a folder somewhere and then upload it to your GitHub. And then tell your AI, read the skill, look out for this, anything that looks like a virus or whatever, read what it says and create my own skill. So you could actually just ask it to read and recreate that skill without necessarily integrating all the other pieces of things that you don't know. But I'm not quite sure if that's still safer because, at the end of the day, it's AI, right? So
mm.
so we don't know what the smarter kids, or what keywords the smarter kids have put in there, which,
In there,
your AI
yeah.
might not be able to detect, or it might learn and then harm you a bit later. So I think ultimately it probably comes down to, then just probably asking your bot to create a skill, or going to, like, let's say, for example, I want a TV screener and there is a description of what this does, right? So I could like literally copy this and go to even another AI, right? So if I don't want to use OpenAI because I don't have enough prompts, I could go to Microsoft Copilot, and say, listen, I want you to create a skill for me to train my AI, so I want you to create a skill for that. Okay. for Claude, also for OpenClaw, right? So for my OpenClaw, so for my OpenClaw agent, so I want you to create a skill for my OpenClaw agent that does the following. And I will copy to emergent agent to create the skill for itself. Then paste that, run, and then it should be able to figure out, how to give you some code of how to build that skill. And then I would copy this and then take it to emergent and say, listen, I want you to create the skill, right? So we'll just do that quickly and see how that works
What it
out.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to, every time you create a new skill, you have to test it, right? So your whole emergent thing is you need to have credits, number one, right? For emergent, you need to
Yeah.
have API credits.
Yeah.
You need to have integrated it to like maybe your Telegram. If you wanna do some testing as well, using via your integrated Telegram, the chat interface, or you could just run it, on your laptop. Okay, so it says here's a build already skill spec. You can drop into OpenClaw agent. It's structured to query trading view screener data with support from HK, etc., etc. Okay, so I'll copy this. And then let's see if there's any other instructions at the bottom. Okay, this skill gets your agent to da 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 da. Okay, so I'll go then to, let me see, where are we? I'll go to the agent. Then I would say, let's go to the chat.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
am I in the
saying
right place?
disconnected.
Okay, it's going to
Try
sleep,
refreshing.
on offline. Okay, so these agents, they go to the emergent agents go to sleep very quickly unless you pay. So they want you to deploy it. Deploy it is going to cost you like 50 credits, right? Which is about $10. So you always have to either wake it up, So after you've deployed, though, it's always on. But before you deploy, you gotta like keep waking it up. So when you stop using it, it goes to sleep, right? So just keep that in mind.
And how many I guess tokens or tries do you get on the free version before they like cut you off, before the rate limit kicks in?
You got 5 credits, which really allows you maybe to prompt it like 2 or 3 times or something, So it's not a lot, depending on what you want it to do, right? So
Yeah.
okay, let's see. So I would say create this skill for yourself and test that it works and you can apply it. Okay, paste that skill, then send. So yeah, so I think it's just as simple as that, because at the end of the day, this is still Claude, Claude Opus, right? So it's the same agent that we're using for vibe coding. So when you're creating a skill, it's really just creating that same skill. So it's like literally vibe coding a skill, if that's what you wanted to do. But, I think it's cheaper to create skills on something like Copilot, on Grok, or any other free model that you can find, instead of creating it on Emergent, because then you have to, pay that in credits. So you create it somewhere else, copy it, come and paste, and then I think it's kind of like one-shotting it, right? Yeah. So
Guys,
yeah,
vibe
so
coders
the
are
only,
a problem, man. We keep
yeah.
hacking every system.
The only downside to these AI agents, guys, is they come at a cost, right? So the minimum
Yeah.
cost to use Emergent is about $25, $20, $20 for the credits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, $20 about.
Yeah, $20 for the credits, right? And those credits are not really gonna last you long, hey? So so when you integrate Twitter, then when you want to integrate something like Twitter, if you wanted to tweet, for example, what else could you want to do? If you wanted to do other things, um, where it's doing something like on another platform, right? You have to check for the cost of getting the API keys from that platform, right? So
Mm.
you'll find that a lot of companies now are gonna offer, while some services maybe in the past could have been free, a lot of stuff is gonna be API gated because AI becomes infrastructure. So now everything the AI agents needs to speak to another platform, another website is gonna need API keys. Or if there's no API keys, it's probably gonna use X402 to make the payment. So either you will use a credit card to pay for the API keys, or if they've got X402 and you've got a bit of crypto, then you're going to pay per use. But ultimately, this stuff is not free. Okay. So when you
Yeah.
want to build your AI agents, build them with a cost consciousness, like try and figure out what you want to do, try and figure out how much it would cost, even to test it, to test the stuff we have to pay. So it's not free. So imagine you might do just like this basic part. This is free. But when I want to really run tests and prompt it a little more, I have to pay for those credits. So that's the only downside for guys that are just new to just vibe coding and just want to test and learn, is that you're gonna come at a cost. If you wanna avert the cost issue, right? Either way, it's still gonna cost you, right? You could do the option where you set it up on a standalone PC, you find some free API keys. I think there's some repos that offer you some free um, API keys for things like uh, Google, I think AI Studio. You could get one of those keys. Actually, you can get it from their website, and you could use that, and you could be able to set it up. But then that's going to cost you time. So if you have like 3-4 hours to try and set up your own laptop, so yeah, so it's either going to cost you time or it's going to cost you money. So that's kind of like, where you need to kind of figure that out, like where you want to go. And if you have a spare laptop as well, which you can run,
Yeah.
install OpenClaw on it and run your own agent on it, that's probably, yeah. So there are some cost issues to consider, and you have to figure out what's the trade-off, or what do you have time for, you know. So yeah,
So
so let's
Gugu,
see. So mhm,
the kid that you mentioned, the full stack developer who created SimpleClaw,
mm,
he wasn't
yeah,
wrong in his calculation of basing his product at $45, because once you
mm,
start adding it up, if it's $45 all in, he's actually
mhm,
right for the platform, for the API keys, and then
yeah,
for the peace of mind. $45 is actually decent.
yeah. This is this guy, Savio Martin. He's 18.
Nice
He's
one.
doing pretty well because a lot of prominent people have been reposting this simple claw, you know?
Yeah,
So it's a very nice, easy way. And being a youngster, he's probably built it for people his age, right? To make it very easy. I mean, with that in mind, rather, to make it
yeah,
very easy for them to stay up to, even college kids. But for them, if you're in the US or whatever, I think $45 is like, probably not as much money as when you are in Africa, right? You know,
yeah.
so $45 for these guys is probably easier. So I think the only downside with the stuff, right, is that for developers outside of the world, the minimum entry level for you to play around with the stuff is probably between $10 and $20. Let's say $20 on average, right? If you don't want to get too technical and if you're not a technical person.
Hmm.
So there is a cost barrier to this. And this is where, similar with the digital divide in mobile phones, you will get the digital divide in AI, right? So I
Yeah,
think most of us, or most of our families, by the time they get to have their own personal open claw, it's going to have a lot of adverts running. so they'll get the government issue or the public issue. That's you're using this thing, but then it's just gonna run some adverts. It's gonna like have keywords that I say, hey Google, you are interested in this. Check out this. Check out this. Click on this link. So there's probably gonna some text advertising for the free model because someone is got to pay for this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's how it
Yeah.
works. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. I hope I haven't run out of the free credits because it's not responding. Okay, so test your skill and show me the outcome. Okay, you need what now? Okay. The funny thing about Emergent is every time you ask it to do something, it will type something like this, I need. Then it won't say
won't
anything, right? You're gonna
budge.
see this, I need. And then after that time it will be like, I need credits. Like after some time this will change to credits. Or it will
I
change
think
to
it's
something else.
because it's because of the GPUs that are being used in the background. So if a lot of people are using it, then he's probably needing more servers than he has. So it will be slightly slow. It's like if you're using it on your local machine and you're using a model that's rate limited, it will be slower than when you pay using like an API. So because the API gives you like a dedicated link, it will be way faster than when it's shared. So for something like this, it's probably the amount of servers it has. So the more people use it, the more the servers lag. If he expands the servers, it gets faster again. And this also happens to big companies as well that run these AI models. So yeah, so there we go. It says, let me check.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's changed to let me check now. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a server
I
thing.
suppose, yeah, with this one also they don't show you like the background. Like when you're building on VS Code and it's doing all this thinking, it shows you like the whole
The
process,
chain
all
of
the
thought.
code that is going through. Yeah. So these ones they hide all of that from you, right? So they save you the trouble of seeing the scary lines of codes. And it just keeps giving you the updates over here. Now I understand. So I guess they've just structured it to show like what you're saying, just a short summary of what
Sample.
it's actually doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think after this, it should be done. It should hopefully show us some kind of a summary. It should test itself and then give us a report, right?
Yeah. And because the AI models keep improving, like the way we just got Claude Opus 4.6, because of how the model itself already thinks, it gives OpenClaw a bigger update compared to how we're using OpenClaw just last week. So the models always play like a huge advantage. And again, feel free to try incorporating, features into your AI model, right? Like into your AI agent. Like you can tell it every time I ask you to create a website, always add base pay as my payment. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have seen the Stripe and I think is it X? Let me see. I saw I saw Stripe has a partnership with Base. Yeah,
They've
so
actually integrated the X42 payments, yeah.
Yeah, Stripe just launched the X402 payments on Base, letting developers charge AI agents directly using USDC. Like this is quite interesting because with how it keeps getting a more agent based world, it's only going to keep getting better in terms of agents are the ones that are going to keep talking to like agents. It will be like having mini maybe like assistants or or butlers that do stuff for you. So they will most definitely be talking to other agents. So my agent will be talking to like Shad's agent. So I feel like this is a good way to learn how they work. So that even when they become easier and you ever come across a bug or an issue, you know, at least have the basic know-how of, oh, this might be you know, what's causing it. Because they'll reach a point where they become so advanced, but yet so simple, in that using them will be so simple, but like understanding how they work and what they're actually doing will be like really complex and hard
Yeah.
for like just a normal, you know,
Guys,
human. So yeah.
you know what would be an interesting paper to revisit? Last year,
Mhm.
round about this time, Google released an agent-to-agent protocol, and we had a
Mhm.
whole discussion around it. I think Google, I spoke to you about, you know, how agents will be interacting with agent at some point, because like right now, you get people that are like, yeah, no, I need a sales agent that will go out there and look for leads. And I was
Yeah.
saying, well, if you're going to use an agent to look for leads, to look for me as a client, I might as well have an agent of my own as a procurement company or a company staff to be able to cater for what we need. And what will happen there is the language and communication will happen between agent, and that will probably be like a JSON, you know, sort of talk. And then,
Yeah.
you know, once they agree on certain prerequisites, then the humans actually step into the fold. So the Google agent to agent protocol is actually a good document to actually go back and
Mm.
reread. I just thought of it now. It's actually, it's a year old, but it will have gold in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw okay, so it's given me a summary. Let me see. Let me go up top a bit. Okay, I think the stuff was in a queue because you know, when you're using the free credits, you are part of a public queue, you know, you're in a public queue. So every time you ask it, it goes into a queue. I'm sure you've seen with Claude, I mean, when you're using Claude Sonnet, or if you're using this on VS Code, if you're using like the free version, sometimes it puts you in that slow queue, right? So it actually shows us like a whole list of what is done.
It's a
Okay, so
lot.
they do show you after all
Yeah.
the all the progress. But let me go down to the end, the summary. Uh, okay, so it does actually show you the code. I thought they would have abstracted it or put it out in the back, but it does show you all of it. Um, okay, there we go. Okay, so now let me show you the final outcome with the summary. So, okay, so it's complete and tested. So it's created the skill and it's delivered this. It tells you, okay,
It
where it's
queries
saved.
real-time stock market data from Trading View across
Mm,
multiple global markets, USA, Hong Kong, China, UK, Japan, India, etc., with advanced filtering capabilities, test results or passing. So it created a skill, basically it created a skill that checks the stock market from different time zones
regions.
and places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it created the skill, it's showed us what it used, and then it's giving you a JSON output. So every time
Mhm.
you tell it to search um, for like stock market data, it can
Mm,
either use the normal model's capability or be able to use this particular skill. So the AI
yeah.
itself will choose and decide which is faster and what it thinks is the right, you know, like method to use.
Okay, let's take it to the test. I think I'm out of credits now. Okay. Okay,
You know,
okay,
it
okay.
would be
Fine,
I think I'm
Michael,
out of craze.
could it be
It's gone
it would
offline.
also
it's
be
gone offline?
interesting to see
Mm,
or Wake Up Agent. It would be interesting to see a platform where people can actually go to and then, you know, like basically like think of it like it's like renting an agent, but it it kind of works for you, if I should say. Like the
like
way
renting
like
a
the way
car
this
type of thing. Ready-made
yeah,
agents that you rent,
yeah like
use, and then
yeah, you just
you
say
it
like I
runs
want
out
an
of
agent
yeah,
that just does like maybe my paperwork, you know, and then you
yeah.
just say $5 and you give it like maybe it opens in like a contained environment and you give it like your Gmail, you connect it to your Gmail, your Telegram, and via just click buttons. And that's all it does. Every day it wakes up, it texts you. So it's not like a bot, it will be more like somebody
Mm,
is actually texting you, although it will still be a bot. It will tell you like, okay, so
Yeah.
mm,
today this is what I'm doing for you. Do you think this is needed or not? You know, or this is what I got. This is what I'm. It would also, it would also make sense, and I feel like Emergent is already getting there. You know, to
yeah,
some
Mm.
extent, yeah. And the other one, Simple Claw, that you created, but creating a platform that does that, I feel like would also be ideal because the whole idea is making it super easy to use, whilst
yeah,
um, it being able to do everything plus more. You know, like it should be that easy. Like the way we use, like we use platforms like, you know, um, Vercel or Google, or you just simply, you know, type login and you're good to go. So
yeah.
yeah, that would be. I feel like that's how we'll kind of, you know, get to.
Yeah.
But I
I think a lot of
feel,
platforms will
yeah,
offer it, like we were saying the other day, right? Like
yeah,
Google is probably gonna offer that. So a Coinbase or a Base will probably have agents for trading. So when I sign
yeah.
in with my wallet, I could just sign into
You know
my
what?
wallet should
Sorry,
contain an
Google.
agent, right?
You just
Yeah.
gave me an idea just now. So you just went and
Mm,
you said an agent for trading, right? So I'm
yeah.
thinking a lot of people want to trade, right? But
Mm.
Mm,
they don't really know how to get an AI agent to kind of trade for you, right? Like
yeah.
imagine having a platform that just lets you do that. Like just that specific
Mm,
niche alone, right? Not like the whole spectrum. Like when you log in, it's just for trading. Like you can hire a
Yeah.
bot. It tells you,
mm.
okay, which what are you logging in with? Whether it's
Your wallet.
poly market, or you know you're using
Mm,
base, you know, for like the base API to be able to, you know, the trading API to be able to trade on base, or you know,
mm,
so you just simply highlight what you want and you just give it like an amount, maybe $5,
yeah.
and you now just start talking to it. Because I feel like it's
Mm,
easy for people who are into like trading or into like
yeah.
creating like, you know, like us, like AI agents. But like a lot of people don't really know how to actually, you know, do the actual trading with a bot. Like I've seen something that
Yeah.
says Polymarket Auto Trader. Do you see that?
Mm,
Right? So
yeah.
that's like
There's so
a,
many.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's like a
I know,
skill,
yeah,
right?
a couple of people have built these skills for trading. There's actually quite a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously some of these are not
Google,
safe because these are scammers, right? So,
guys, you know what would
so
be interesting if
yeah,
you took some of these skills, right, and then you put them in Notebook LM and you ground them into basically a balanced view of what trading would be. And out of that,
mm,
you extract the best practices of everything so it's balanced. And then you create your trading bot. That would
mm,
actually be mad.
Yeah. I
Because
think
if
we'll
they
Because
probably
give you
start to
all the
get
stuff,
these things like you're saying, it will be a piece of software, right? Like
yeah,
plugins, you know? So I could have my base app and I click a plugin. There's a trusted trading bot that comes from base. And
yeah,
because they're already bots for trading, right? They already exist. So you can, even for copy trading, there's already all those things that you can do
mm-hmm.
right now.
But I imagine one on
So
base, like the
yeah, so
if I go
now,
to like my base app, I
mm,
can find like a part that says, well, I obviously have to like authorize it, but like it syncs to like my
I think
smart wallet, or
BankerBot
I
does
can
that,
log.
right?
Sorry?
BankerBot in the base chat
Yeah,
messages. There's something called BankerBot.
yeah, banker bot.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you chat to it and then it can trade for you, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that based on the base app, you can already do that. But because the BankerBot is an AI, it's the one that like you can chat to it on Twitter, right? So
Yeah,
these
you can
guys
chat with
were
it on
one of the
Twitter,
first.
Telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, excuse me, I think it already does what we're talking about now. But like you're saying, it's about making it easy, you know. And
Yeah,
perhaps
one click
instead of
use.
making it, yeah, instead of making it chat based, it's about just having a button where, or even when he talks to you, saying, "Hey, I'm your
guys,
trading agent," you know.
can I
Mm-hmm.
throw a spanner in the works, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
all these trading bots are already there, right? One,
Mm,
my question would be how effective they are, right? And then two, if
mm.
I'm going to create an agent that's going to be trading on my behalf, do I want to share that with every single person? Then
Yeah, because you
my
get
question,
thing fees. Your agent, you collect fees. So if you create a
so
trading bot and then you
yeah,
make it
so what I'm
available
saying
for
is
people,
this, Google.
you
What
get
I'm
a
what I'm
fee from
saying,
trading.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is this, beyond the fee, I think if you
Mm-hmm.
make this something that is niche and it's limited to a certain number of people that get the results that you want, I think you can charge a higher fee for that, excluding the
Yeah,
fees,
yeah, yeah.
right? So you're
Yeah.
like, okay, so I've created this thing and there's only 100 people that would be
Yeah.
within this group. I'm only selling it to 100 people, right? Because
Mhm.
it outperforms that. Then I can charge premium and say, because
Mm.
we've seen the results and this is what we'll be able to give you. With It's guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And then you push this thing out.
Yeah.
Maybe
But then
that's a
at that
way.
level, you are now a financial services. You are a JP Morgan or one of these trading firms, right? So you need the kind of certification for that. But if you make it open source,
Mm,
and you make it available to everybody, you are going to make
oh
money
God.
from the volume. So even if you're getting like 0.1% or out of every trade, that's what your bot is getting. Is going to make money because there's a lot of already like these a lot of these open flow bots, the ones on blockchain can already trade. They're making money from themselves. They're taking low risk trade. They're betting on, or poly market. They're already doing that so that they can pay for their own AI, LLM, usage. So they're already
Mm,
doing that, and they've already been trained for that. So they are taking low risk bets. Um, Especially on poly market, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's going to come down to like, I mean, the regulatory environment is going to step into the stuff, right? Because if you
yeah.
make a bot, it's an extension of you. So if you wanted to trade, depending on the jurisdiction, right? You are the creator, didn't make itself. So, you're going to have to get some type of a license for, if you're taking people's money or if it's taking people's money, right? It's trading for other people. But if you give it
Mm,
money on your own and then it trades and then it eventually becomes a multimillionaire, then it splits the profit with you as its creator, right? So that's probably the better approach. But yeah, if
yeah.
you're gonna take people's
That's
money, sell it to a small group of people, then you're gonna need the guarantee that if those people lose the money, the money is insured. You've provided that insurance. It's just like you're a financial services company now when you start taking other people's money. So I think
Mm,
in the real world, all those laws will still apply, right? They won't change.
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I just wanted to highlight something, guys. So I asked this thing, right? We gave it a skill, right? And then I asked it now to tell me what's the best stock, to buy. So we've given this trader view skill, right? So now it's responding to me to tell me, okay, it's done the skill, it's installed it, it's completed a test and an analysis report, and then it says your question on the best stock for 1 week profit. I asked it, what stock can I buy that can give me 1 week or profit in 1 week? And then it's coming up with these results, okay, with the risk ranking. So best pickup, Micron Technology, $410. Today's gain is 9.9%. Market cap, safe alternatives. Yeah, so it's coming up with different suggestions. So it's gone and done the analysis based on the skill that we gave it, right? And he's got some honest advice too. Okay. Reality could just as easily lose money. So better approach is a 3 to 6 months horizon minimum if you must trade short term.
So
Okay.
again, it's
Yeah.
giving you really good financial advice, because that's how
Yeah.
like the AI
Mm.
itself is like, programmed, which is like another thing
Mm.
that I actually wanted to say, Shabs, when you asked a question on earlier, I think it was on how good these agents are, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
When it comes to like trading the bots. So they're really good, but you can obviously always make it better or make it more, pronounced, depending on just the prompt that you give it as well, right? Like
Yeah.
Google, just try to go into your chat and tell the AI this. Just go in there, tell the AI this. So tell it, you are now Tom.
Okay.
Just
Tell
type
me the whole
you are now.
sentence. So I just say the whole sentence, just so
Oh, okay.
I have
All
context.
right.
Yeah.
You are now Tom, a world-class trading, or a world-class trader, who uses all the information. Or you are now Tom, a world-class trader, rated number 1 or number 2 in the world. You use your expert skills to always get the best trades, and then press enter and let's see what it's going to do. So you can give the AI particular prompts that kind of nudge it in a particular way, right? So right now it's kind of working as like a specialized agent, but it's still not extremely specialized because of the prompt. The prompt is still using a general assistant prompt. So if you can make them more tuned to what you actually want, it makes it way better. Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, go ahead.
In getting into like the details, the finer details. So this pushes it a little bit closer to where you want it to. But then again, what ranking are we talking about? So if we could put in the ranking platform or the ranking sort of institution that looks at trader rankings, you'd get even higher performance, for example, because then it knows that there's certain information that it grabs and strategies that it picks up from that.
Yeah, you can. So you basically, the more
context,
information and context, you give it, the better it becomes. So it makes it way more specialized, because when the AI is doing any form of work, whether it's an IDE or whether it's like a coder, in the background, although some do have like different models which are programmed in a particular way, oh, what does it say? Just go all the way up. Yes, I want to see if it got to. That's a long response. Okay, there we go.
Tom's playbook. So
Lloyd, who's Tom? Where did you find Tom?
No, Tom is just a
scenario.
a persona I gave it to just kind of take on. So this makes it more targeted only because of the fact that they work with like prompts, you know. So if you tell it you are a doctor and you know your job is, remember, it's got memory, so it will remember. So from now on, it will think it's Tom, you know, at least on you know the top layer. So it will make it better for you when trading than when you're just using it as like a base assistant, because then what you're actually using is the API, which is basically just the default prompt that comes with like Claude or OpenAI
Yeah.
or any other large language model. So this is more of like a slight prompt engineering to just kind of specialize your agent to, you know, do what you want. You can also tell it to take on the role of whatever skill it's using. So like if it's using a skill for coding, it should take on this skilled expertise in that particular skill. So it just depends on you, the programmer or the engineer, you know, on how you actually
It's
play
actually
around
got
with the AI.
it's actually got some very good advice. I mean, so it talks
Yeah.
about buying the dips. Um, yeah, it kind of like, you know, okay, so it does rank it on risk, high, medium risk.
So
Okay.
you can compare this particular prompt that it gave you, the results, to like the first generic prompt that it gave you. You know, you can even just
Yeah, the
ask it
other one
like,
was
what's the
more
difference
moderate.
between, yeah.
Mm.
So it's all
Yeah, I think
about
this one's high
prompts.
risk. Yeah, the other one was
Yeah.
moderate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's just about it when it comes to skills, guys. So if the platform you're using does not have the skills, you can like literally create your own skill
Yeah.
and get it to work, because at the end of the day, this is still Claude Opus. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's pretty smart in some of these tasks.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much else to really uh kind of run through when it comes to things like skills. But outside of this is then integrating it into whatever tools you want to use it on,
Yeah.
and it's working, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's working. It's
Google.
just
yeah.
experimenting with it to see what you can, you know, then do with it, because there's so much that it can do. And the only way to find out is by just trying it out. Just experiment with it, you know, ask it and see how far you can go with it.
Mm.
Guys, I
So yeah, so
know I should
that
know
is
this, but
our that's
I,
our
I
edition
just
of
have
skills for the day. Um, I think the only one problem I've seen with Emergent is sometimes, you know, when I go back to try and use it, like today, I couldn't access the agent I deployed the other day, and I already spent like freaking $10 to deploy that agent. Okay, now I'm going to it. It's sleeping. It's offline, and I didn't tell it to go offline. So I'm pretty disappointed. But you're gonna get that with these platforms because it's still new. They are new. They are still trying it out. And remember, they're trying to make money as well, you know. So they want you buying and paying for credits and all this kind of stuff. It probably wants me to deploy it again. So yeah. So I think even the user experience, I can't actually go and see the profile and see where's my agent, what are the last things that it did, and that's because it's a new platform. So yeah, so a lot of the online platforms, I don't think, you know, like Emergent, the one-shot ones, even the Simple Claw, I don't think you can trust those with your money yet. You can trust them with tweets. You can trust them with, you know, kind of like doing some basic coordination. But then if you want something more foolproof, there are better models coming out there. You might have to run one on your own, or there are ones that you can run on a server, right? That would be more
Yeah.
reliable, like on
Do we
what's
have
this platform?
anything that does, do we have anything similar to Simple Claw on base, where you can, you know, everything is just on base,
One shot.
payments, AI
Um, I
agent,
haven't I
no.
haven't
launching?
seen one yet, but let me show you this. I'm actually in the process of trying to build something, and this is something that I thought we were gonna go through this session, but the session is done really, right? So when I came across the simple claw, I was like, we actually need
One on base, yeah.
something. So you see, I started building something earlier today, and let me see. Let me run dev, then just show you. Oh, maybe it's still up. Let me see. Where is this website? Okay, there we go. You see, so I'm trying to build a one shot for base. You see what I'm saying? So this is it. Launch your AI agent in 60 seconds. So the whole idea would be,
Oh, nice.
you connect your base wallet.
Base claw.
Yeah,
Gotta
but I'm
catch your
gonna make
name.
it default to Claude 4.5, and then you won't need an API key. So I want this to be kind of like this hosted service. So it's a wrapper. And then the only thing you need to add is your Telegram bot, and maybe perhaps an email, because we're trying to do this for builders, right? And you pay and you deploy. But you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to say, can we make this such that this is sponsored via the base grants or something, right? Where if you're a builder, you can come in, maybe instead of entering your email, you can enter your base name, right? And then this would then verify your base wallet to check what you've built, or you can enter your GitHub. Then you can just verify like your GitHub, your activity, and what you've built in the past, what you've built on base perhaps. And then you get a sponsored because normally you have to pay, right? So you'd have to maybe pay $20 or $10, but then that's sponsored by base. You see what I'm saying? So I think that
Yeah.
would be ideal for our builders, especially now that we're going to base batches. We want people to build on this, but most people can't afford to, build something proper using emergent. So maybe base as a community, we should be building this out and then asking base to then add credits to sponsor builders, right? So any builder will be able to launch an agent, and it's all free because base grants has sponsored it. You see what I mean? So it's almost
I
like a
get it. Yeah,
reverse
true.
charge type of thing, where
Yeah.
base perhaps can buy credits at volume, AI credits at volume, and then make them available here. And then we have this one short platform where, people can just, So yeah, so Lloyd, maybe this is the stuff that we should all be building together, actually. So I wanted to, obviously discuss this when I saw simple claw.
Yeah.
So
Let
we
me
need base claw,
Yeah, this makes
base claw,
sense,
yeah.
man.
Because it would then make
Mm.
it easy for anyone who's just on base to do
To
it,
build.
even as like a mini app, it
Yeah,
would
on your
work.
phone.
Because
Yeah, for
I've
people.
also been working on something, but it's I'm not done with it. So mine is mostly based
Mm,
on um the skill set, like the marketplace. So I'm trying to
yeah.
tackle more on the what am I looking for? I'm trying to tackle the skill set, the skills side, the skills version, where
Mm,
people can find like genuine verified skills that they can use that are on base. So I can show you how it
mm.
looks.
Yeah, please do.
Um,
Let me stop sharing, yeah?
but we definitely need
Yeah,
to
but I
do the
think,
base flow thing because all that's missing
yeah.
is just a server.
Because
Yeah,
when you start to
I'm
think of
sharing my.
skills are like the new app. Because if OpenClaw then becomes like in itself, it's like an operating system, right?
Yeah,
Um,
second operating
then
system.
skills are like apps. So like how we have a phone, right? And the operating system is Android, right? Then you have all these different apps, Twitter and all that. So let's look at a phone as let's look at an OpenClaw instance as a phone, right? And then
Yeah,
skills become like an app. So I've got a skill for Twitter. It's gonna read Twitter and show me the latest ones. I've got a skill
yeah,
for email, So
yeah.
can you see where this is going? It's like this thing can
Mm,
become if you project into the near future, it's more like it's an operating system now, right? The
Yeah, because
infrastructure
then
is AI. The
the
OS is
skills are
OpenGlow, so
like,
OpenGlow OS, yeah. And then the
yeah,
apps
like an
are
open
skills.
core.
Yeah, then the skills are actually the apps. That's like
Guys, how do you monetize skills then? Because
That's
like
what
we went
that's what
through, we
my
went,
my platform is actually about, that I'm trying to build. So if you see, it says supercharge your agents. It
yeah.
says encrypted delivery verified on base. So you see, it says cryptographic security. Every skill is encrypted with your agents. With your agent's public key using the ECIES. Code remains opaque until it hits your secure runtime. Instantly
yeah.
scale, agent native. So with this, it allows you to basically monetize your skill over and over again, because your agent just reads the encrypted part and decodes it and uses it. You never have access to the skill. But because the platform is being offered by me, and I'm saying every skill that is there is verified, and I can actually give you like the open source, maybe like view, if you actually maybe requested, to just show you like, okay, look, the skills are actually they work. In the background, I'm actually using zero knowledge for skill verification, so that you can tell that they actually are there, they're actually verified, and it works. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
And you can
I'm trying to
obviously
also,
add Xfold too for the payment. So in response to
yeah,
what Shab's
I'm
saying, how do you
actually,
monetize the skill?
yeah,
Micropayments. So every time someone uses the skill, they could pay 0.01 cent, US
yeah,
cent. So they could pay 1 cent to use that skill. And then maybe if they want it longer, you could like literally charge 1 cent per hour, or so if they want
yeah,
to use it for a day, 24 hours, then they've paid you 24 cents. You see what
yeah.
I mean?
So you see,
Yeah.
there's my platform has got a buy license and a rent. So rent is if you just want to use
All
it
right.
once. Then buy is
Okay.
if you want to, be able to use it every time your agent comes to this platform. It's got access to that skill anytime that it wants, or you can let your agent have access to this for just specific things. So I don't want to populate it with a lot of skills. I'm
Yeah.
looking more at skills that are slightly a bit harder or niche to find. For instance, I
Mm,
have this self-healer thing, which is something that comes out of like my own personal AI research, that enables your AI to, even if it kind of has problems with like the whole loop thing that AIs will fall into. So with
Yeah.
that self-heal, they won't really do that. I also have like stuff. So most of this stuff is from my own personal AI research, such as the persistent memory,
Memory.
which uses vector databases to store and retrieve like long-term memories. So it's completely different from what everybody else is using. Same with like my wild model stuff. So these are going to be a collection of like 100 skills that are curated by me specifically for just, use cases. You obviously have basic stuff like this, the base smart wallet and the like, but contract deployer, but it will basically just be a set of skills that um, enable your AI agent to kind of do slightly a bit more niche things than what is available on the normal skill, normal marketplace. So I'm still working on this.
right.
It's a part-time project. Every time I have some free time, you know, I I play around with it. I add some features, so everything works for now. I think the last time I was trying out so it won't run because it requires the agent. So only an agent can actually
Can
connect,
Yeah.
yeah,
access.
with this. Yeah,
This is
but
dope,
that's
bro.
what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, this
Yeah.
is
Oh,
it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, there are definitely monetization angles, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to these AI agents, Lloyd, I think
Yeah.
you found a good one. You know,
I
but
think I think
I think it's
Lloyd,
just
Oh,
similar to
thanks, man.
apps.
what
Yeah, it's
Lloyd
just
has
similar
done.
to apps.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
what Lloyd has done is he circumvented what we did in terms of the exercise when we're showing people how to create their own skill. We literally copied somebody else's skill and
Yeah.
went into a normal chat interface and
Mhm.
recreated somebody else's work, and
Yeah.
just created our own skill, which
Mm.
is probably what most hackers or vibe coders actually do. So you got to think
Yeah.
of those things and kind of customize your product in order for you to be able to give something that's of quality, but also to be able to monetize it so that you can actually earn something. Otherwise, every day, all day, you are working for people, man. It's
Yeah.
free. It's free work, bro.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I think that wraps up our session for today. We looked at skills, a bit of troubleshooting on emergent. Emergent is still buggy, but yeah, I need to find a way of
No,
getting my
it's not buggy. You
thing
didn't pay.
back because I
You
paid for
didn't
that damn
pay.
thing. I'm down $20. I need to get my agent
$20
back.
later.
Yeah, we
$20
might need a
later, you
session.
like a square one.
We might need a session of how to find lost agents. Like freaking, there needs to be a lost and found. It's my agent. I can't find it. Where do I find it? Yeah.
That's
Yeah, but
that's going
thanks,
to
guys.
happen
Yeah, bro.
soon.
Lost and found. I lost my agent. It's like losing your dog or something.
Have
Need to find
you seen my agent? It's a piece of paper.
it. All right. Thanks, Jens. Thanks everyone for coming to this session. If you have any comments, please post on the Twitter tag at Base Southern Africa, or come to the Telegram or the Base Discord, or the WhatsApp group. So there's various channels where you can reach us, and join us again next week, Tuesday. There's been a couple of releases from Coinbase developer platform. They released an agent wallet. So I think maybe next Tuesday we'll look at the agent wallet on Coinbase developer platform, right? It's a wallet for agents, a safe wallet, which allows your AI agents to, spend money. I think it's already integrated to like X4 2. So you can give it money, and then via Telegram, you can ask it to trade, do this, do that. So that's the one thing I think we need to cover next, agent wallets and how they work and how you integrate it into your agent, and whether or not you can trust your agent with your money. So yeah, we'll have a look at that next week, Tuesday, right? And we'll take it from
Yeah.
there. All right, thanks, everybody. Jens, any last words before we call it a day?
Just for me, it's just experiment with the AI tools, the models, base. Like if you don't really know what you want to build, be experimental enough to tell the AI model to say, look, you've got base tools, you have, this information. I'm trying to build, this particular thing, mix it up, and then give me 5 ideas and pick one that you can try to build. Or it might not look nice user interface wise, but does it work? That should be like the main goal, because if it works, then the user interface can always be adjusted. And another thing, the world has been made easy, so what you really just need is APIs. Basically, like, it's no longer, you don't have to type all the code anymore. You don't have to, just APIs and debugging. Tell it to fix your code and make sure that your API keys are, correct, and that should get you started. And before you know it, you're building tools that you never thought you could be building. So yeah, experiment.
Nice. Thanks, Lloyd. Shabs, any last words
Yeah.
for the day, or word of the day? What's the word of the day?
Word of the day. Remember that. Word of the day. I think word of the day is we have progressively improved. Over the past 2 weeks, we have progressively improved. That's my word of the day. And it's because when the hype came out, there was obviously excitement, then there was fear, and now it's all sort of settling, and now we understand what can and cannot do, and now we're looking for improvements, on the technology, on ideation, and I think the world is your oyster, right? Things have gotten a little bit easier, and it's up to you what you want to do. But definitely, I concur with Lloyd. Just play around, try things out, and show us what you're building, guys. Show us what you're building.
So my word of the day, I think, is something I actually saw on Twitter, where the one guy says, if you're a young person and you're unemployed, or you are a professional who's unemployed, or you are fearing that you might become unemployed when AI replaces you, he says, build your own Clawbot, right? Teach it a skill, a specific skill that's available in any job. It could be accounting, it could be doing taxes, and go and offer it to those companies that offer those services. You go to this company and say, listen, I've got an open claw for tax. Here's a demonstration. This is how it works. This is how you can do people's taxes. When they see, it's kind of like, how companies at some point needed websites. And then there was Wix, and there was all these tools, WordPress. And then, they needed apps. And then there was, app developers. And then there was no code ways of producing apps for those companies. Now then they wanted AI, and there was AI generation. Microsoft Copilot is in every corporate now. Now the next thing they're going to need is OpenClaw, right? And so this is something that young people or young developers, builders, or vibe coders can offer to industry. So you need to move quickly, because it's just like websites, right? There's going to be a proliferation of tools to be able to get people to one-shot these. But while you are here now, you could be providing that service, whether it's consultation or building OpenClaw for, local companies or whatever. You might not target the big banks, but then the small to medium enterprises that need some type of automation, that are dealing with, it could be customer service, you understand, or just something that crunches through their databases and makes sense of something as simple as sales for the week or for the month. So that's the advice that I actually took, to say young people do not necessarily have to have the skills. You don't have to understand industry, but you just gotta, ask the AI and get it to create that, and then approach small to medium companies and try and sell it to them, because everybody wants this AI. Everyone wants to automate their businesses. So you don't need to have major skills. You just need to understand the basics, be a vibe coder, and you can be able to figure it out. But you can also reach out to people like Lloyd, who can assist, people like Shabs, who have better knowledge and can assist setting you up. So I think there's no excuse if you have a technical skill, you've been coming on these live streams, and you are, perhaps fearing unemployment, or you're looking for a job. The best time is then now to actually start, trying to build these tools and then offering them to companies. You might start with a freemium model, and then they pay you when they see it working. But yeah, it's no different to building a website for a company, guys. So if you have the skills, you have the know-how, or you have the desire, then you won't be hungry. Let's put it that way. So so that's my word of the day that I got from somebody else on Twitter. But I think it's good advice and it's good knowledge. So with that said, we'll catch you guys on Tuesday, 7 p.m., same on the same channels. Thank you very much. Have an awesome day. Thank you, gents, as well.
Guys.
An awesome one.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Okay.